Most single-day passes come out to around $71. However, initially we're going to try to implement this strategy. However, the demand curve is extremely elastic in this particular situation because there's so many competing entities within Dubai Land, including our two biggest competitors, NBC, Universal, and DreamWorks. Although we offer the unique Disney product, we're going to have to definitely adapt the price. And not only will we have to adapt it to the local consumer, but we'll have to adapt it to the overall pricing strategy of Dubai Land that Tatweer will attempt to implement.
All right, so I'm going to move on to distribution now. We really feel that utilizing Tatweer's knowledge will be most effective in distributing our product. We need to use their local knowledge to our advantage, and we want to keep everything localized and centralized. This means that we want to keep the management team localized because they know how to work in this market better than we do, so we need to take advantage of that. Also, we want to keep everything in Dubai so that there's no communication failures. Everything is pretty integrated and easy to use. Okay, in terms of promotion, there's two main avenues that we want to use. Dubai's public transport system is a really big part of this. The Dubai Roads and Transport Authority takes care of the bus system and the new metro project. The new metro project is actually really cool. It's this highly technological transportation system that runs underground, much like most metros do. And there's not going to be any drivers or anything like that. The costs of running it are going to be really low. And it's a really good way to promote our product. It's going to be really popular. There's going to be a lot of different stops and locations where people can get on and off. And it's going to be a pretty cheap system, too, because there's not really much overhead in terms of running it. The bus system that is already in place is very popular in Dubai. There's a lot of different stops, and it's a pretty cheap system also, and it's widely recognized as being the public transportation system. It's much more cost-effective than using the taxi system, just because, I think we can all agree to that taxis are a little more expensive. So we want to offer discounts. We want to work together with the Dubai Roads and Transport Authority to kind of offer discounts for people using these systems and coming to Dubai and coming to our Disney park. We want to work in conjunction with them, like I said, so that we can have stops at our Disney park, and there's some sort of incentive to use the public transportation to come to Disney.
Okay, and in conclusion, if we could provide more secondary or primary research, we would want a top-to-bottom financial analysis of Tatweer, and we want to start up focus groups so we can learn more about the UAE culture and different things that the consumers want in UAE.
I think to kind of sum up in a couple of sentences, I think that we want to create a unique location where we can build off of our competitors, not just simply competing with Universal or a local water park, but really, tourists that come, they have an option to go to any of these places, and the branding of Disney is really what's going to attract them to our park, in addition to the cultural adaptation. And that's it.
Thank you. Time for a couple of questions. Venture capitalists, where are you? Go right ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Through characters in its film, Disney often has portrayed women in ways that may not necessarily be in line with that of Islam. How will Disney either reinvent those characters in this theme park, or how will it cater to those really specific religious views in the UAE?
I think that Dubai, especially, we focus a lot on Islam, but compared to other Arab nations, Dubai is a little more liberal with what they're willing to allow. They just ask that if someone is really practicing Islam very, very passionately, that you respect them. I think in terms of women and some of the women characters, for example, Princess Jasmine from Aladdin, she might need a little more clothing to cover up some more of her body, really kind of adapted to the local culture. But the character itself, still, you can't really change it from the video, so you need to kind of maybe make slight changes, but really, you don't want to insult them, but you can't change it. So maybe, like I said, more clothing, but aside from that, I don't really think there's much you can do.
There wasn't a lot of talk about Disney's failed effort in Paris. I didn't know if you guys researched it and how Disney can capitalize on what they've learned.
Yeah, we did. I actually did a lot of research on it, and as you know, in 160 we talked about it a lot. The thing is, we didn't want to really focus on that. In implementing our strategy, we are learning from our mistakes. I think that one mistake that they did was, in the past, not only in Paris, but, Disney was very successful in Japan licensing their products, and in France they were not successful with a joint venture with the government. It did help them a little when they were struggling, but it's a lot less risky to license. And to make up some mistakes, I really think cultural adaptation and kind of local management was a big mistake, and we think that employing local adaptation, with Tatweer especially, they're going to be able to help us with all the local needs that we need to accomplish so that we don't have a repeat of what happened in Paris.
Basically, we just want to use that local knowledge that Tatweer offers and the local management offers to our advantage, which is something that we didn't do in Paris. So.
I know you guys mentioned your competitors internationally, but after having lived in Dubai for several years, I know from the airport, you guys mentioned you're going to attract a lot of transit people. There are, I can't imagine how many local competitors who do hold a majority of the share of the demand in Dubai, such as, like you mentioned, water parks, and there's another place called Dubai Land that's getting pretty big. They're modernizing and they're making adaptations as well. So how do you plan on competing with those? Because they, of course, have local market knowledge much more than a company like Disney.
Yeah.
Even though you guys have the name.
Yeah, I think that local knowledge is important, and I think to do some primary research in the market is very important. To kind of capture some market share away from them is going to be difficult. I think with one thing, increased local distribution with Tatweer would be very helpful to kind of get the brand out, and maybe even partnering with certain hotels to offer discounts or I understand that they've been successful for many years already. It's going to be difficult. I just think that the brand image of Disney with families and with tourists who are not from Dubai, we're really focusing a large portion of our efforts on tourists. 1.8 billion people live within a 5-hour flying distance of Dubai. That's nearly a third of the world. So, if we implement kind of maybe a global advertising strategy to get those people to come to our park before they even know about the local attractions, that might be helpful. But I really think primary research is going to be the most helpful.
Oh, okay, I think that's going to be it. Thank you very much.